I'm humbled to be before you. You guys got a lot of energy this morning? Yeah, man. Amen. I just flew into town. I wanted to make sure I was here with you, the brave firefighters who are keeping so many of our communities safe all across the country. You are the ones who run towards a crisis when others are running away. In a world so focused on the individual, you are the ones who are selfless, focusing on the safety of our brothers and sisters across this great country. And with that, I want you to offer yourselves a round of applause for all the awesome work you do keeping our communities safe. My background was intro a little bit before. I come from a family from a bunch of folks who have worn the uniform before. Don't hold it against me. My father and grandfathers were cops. My brother served 20 years in the Marines. My stepdad was a Navy man. After the Naval Academy, I served on 3 overseas deployments and got to really fall in love with this country, and it's an honor to serve in Congress today. And it's with that background, that experience, and that DNA that I can offer you that I understand the sacrifices that you make, the long shifts, the sleepless nights, the missed birthdays and holidays. I know the weight that you carry, not just physically, but emotionally, because you don't just see emergencies, you live them over and over again. But it's not just enough for a politician like me to stand up here and offer you my words. Actions are what matter. Frankly, everything else is bullshit. So let me tell you a couple of things my colleagues and I in Congress from both sides of the aisle have taken action on. Last Congress, I was proud to vote for legislation that secured over $600 million for funding for the World Trade Center Health Program as part of the FY25 National Defense Authorization Act. That funding ensures that 9/11 first responders and survivors, some of whom may be in this very room right now and are still dealing with long-term health issues, can get the care they deserve. Where are my New York firefighters? Amen, guys. You guys don't miss a party. Love you guys. This Congress, I'm part of a proud group to co-sponsor H.R. 1410, the 9/11 First Responder and Survivor Health Funding Correction Act, a bipartisan effort to strengthen this critical program, ensuring that every firefighter, police officer, and emergency responder who answered the call on 9/11 has access to health care. And it's just not a New York issue. It's a national one. And I won't stop fighting until it's fully funded for the long haul. Recently, when there were proposed cuts to the World Trade Center Health Program, I joined my colleagues in Congress in urging the President to preserve funding and staffing for this program. And I'm grateful that after hearing from us and many of you, President Trump committed to reversing those cuts. This is the kind, yes, you can clap for that. This is the kind of strong bipartisan advocacy that we need, where Washington listens to those of us on the front lines and makes decisions to our benefit. But my commitment to firefighter health care does not stop there. We know that the dangers you face aren't in just burning buildings or hazardous materials, but also in the unseen battles. The military and first responder communities have learned that mental health is just as critical as physical health. And for too long, first responders have been expected to carry that burden alone, and that needs to change. Congress needs to help break the stigma surrounding mental health in the firefighting community to ensure that resources for PTSD, trauma recovery, and peer counseling are not just available, but encouraged. On the physical health side, I was proud to co-sponsor Honoring Our Fallen Heroes Act, ensuring that firefighters who suffer from work-related cancers and illnesses receive the benefits they have earned. Far too many first responders face serious health complications because of the risks that you take on your jobs. You can't pour from an empty cup. And as a nation, we have a responsibility to ensure that the men and women who protect us are protected in return. Whether you serve in a major city department, a suburban firehouse, or a small volunteer station, you deserve fair wages, benefits, and funding to ensure that you can do your dangerous job safely and return home to your families. That's why I continue to support the Assistance of Firefighters grant and the Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response grants, the SAFER programs. Because I believe that no firefighter should have to work with outdated equipment in order to do your dangerous job. At the same time, we need to be smart about how regulations impact our fire departments. And recently, the Biden administration, in good faith, proposed a OSHA fire brigade standards aimed at improving firefighter safety. And there's no question that updates are necessary to protect the health and safety of those of you on our front lines. But I also recognize the concerns raised by volunteer and smaller departments, often rural and suburban departments, who fear that some of these new regulations could be financially crippling or logistically impossible to implement. And I work with some of the folks here on the stage, and I've joined a bipartisan effort urging OSHA to carefully consider how these regulations are actually rolled out, ensuring they improve safety without overwhelming volunteer fire services. I've also participated in congressional hearings to make sure firefighters' voices are heard, and I will continue to fight for a balanced approach that prioritizes both safety and practicality. At the end of the job, my day in Congress is simple: to have your back. That means fighting for the resources you need, protecting your health care, ensuring your benefits are not on the chopping block, and making sure Washington understands that public safety is not a bargaining chip. It's a fundamental responsibility, actually, and one that I take very seriously. You dedicate your lives to protecting others, and it is my duty to protect you in return. So as we gather here today, I want to say this: I see you, I respect you, and I stand with you, not just today and not just in election years, but always. God bless you. Thanks for keeping our community safe.